Hi Moon, welcome in, welcome back. I'm finally streaming again. Alright, how you doing, Moon? It's getting late for you, huh? Okay. I gotta make sure I didn't change the volume and stuff and it's all broken or something. Okay, I guess that's fine. Actually, it could be a little louder. How's that? Is that good? I think it's good. Yeah, I love Michael Jackson. Let's see here. There's a YouTube music going. Okay. And checking the volume of the YouTube stuff still. Okay. I think this is fine. Audio is such a ever-changing mess. That's what audio is. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Here we are. Hopefully my model looks a little better. I changed my stream monitor to be landscape now instead of portrait. That way at least the window of my model can be better or bigger. I don't have to upscale it or anything. Yeah, that should be fine. How we doing? Let's see. Chilling? Yeah. Marino Greed? Is Marino an artist? Mm. Mm. Right. Interesting. What's the vibe of the song? Okay, let's see here. I got a thing I want to work on to submit for class tomorrow. So, okay. Here's the thing. Insanity Hyper, oh boy. I have got... Hi, Ren, welcome in. I've got... This is my final month of college. I graduate at the end of it. So I got a class that's setting me up for all that stuff. Which isn't a lot. It's just everything is due on like the 26th for that class. It's not a lot of stuff. It's just like a bunch of preparation. And then I have a second class called, which is supposed to help me like with career stuff, getting prepared to enter the industry or whatever. I have a third class, which is basically the same thing as last month, where I just have 2 days each week. I have to make a progress report on my project and reply to someone else's post. So it's not too difficult, but this career preparedness class or whatever, I'm not the most hyped for, but I haven't really done any networking in the industry, so I'm pretty behind when it comes to that. Like reaching out to people in the industry or whatever. But oh well. It's hard, because I don't really want to work on a huge team where everything is super complicated, and I don't want to work on like AAA stuff. Ooh. I since I watched the movie, I've been obsessed with this song, Human Nature. So good. Okay, right. So what I want to do for today, it's just a little bit of stuff. It sounds simple on paper, like, I want to add health for my character, and I want to add a death zone, or what have you. And moving platforms. But knowing me, I'm gonna overcomplicate it, and yeah. Right. Let's see here. So go ahead and unhide this here, right? And I made a button just before stream so that I could move myself without having to open my drawer and get my dang, move my avatar manually. So, alright, there we go. Understandable. Thanks for lurking. So I can move myself out of the way without having to use my desktop mouse and stuff. So yeah, I haven't really done anything since the last stream, but yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new script here. I'm gonna call it player health. You know what would be easier actually, rather than creating a script for player health? I want to create like I want to create something more generic, because not only the player can have health, right? So I'm gonna create another folder here. I'll just say entity. I'll say not new folder. I want to create a new script here called entity health. That way it's more generic. That way I won't be applying a script called player health to enemies or something like that. Like that just logistically that doesn't make sense. So that doesn't really matter functionally. Okay, opening up the project in Visual Studio here. Ooh, here we go. Right. Okay, let's say hey Mir, welcome in. Blushing a lot. I said max health. That way we can have a down here. Actually public float health. Get private set. I love this functionality here. I don't know, in C# here. You declare a public variable, then you can actually override its getter and setter access modifier. So I can get it publicly, right? Public get, but I can only set it privately in this file. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and say awake, or rather start health equals max health. Alright, then we could say, let's see, right? I know this is a simple formula, but I gotta... Hello? Okay, well that's not helping. I can't believe it's something as simple as Googling like a health ratio doesn't pull up any results. It's my... This is why AI is just helpful. Like, I can literally just ask it a question, it'll find the answer when Google doesn't. And I can type more to ask a more in-depth question than on Google. Like on Google, if I type something super in-depth, it's not going to find the result unless maybe it's AI search assist, but again, that's AI. So I keep getting likes from random accounts, my like live tweets. Um, hmm. Right, so that's what I thought. Current health divided by max. This good feeling is that's super weird. Mm, mm. Okay. No, I think it's health. Was it? This is what I'm always getting confused here. Current divided by max, yes. Right, let's see. Is there not a... This is not something... Am I... How am I... What is going on? I feel like I'm going insane here. Math F. There we go. Clamp 01. I should do it. Times value between 0 and 1 returns value. Yep. So this somehow is less than or equal or greater than 1. It'll return 0 or 1. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I gotta go let my little brother know that he's supposed to eat his lunch right about now, so we'll be right back. Alright, so, alright. This is what we're gonna do, I think. What is it? Ah, damn. Hmm. Hello, welcome in. How you doing? Uh, Expression tree compilation. What's expression tree compilation? Oh, I'm upside down now. Running expression tree represents code in a tree-like structure and executable intermediate language IO codes as developers dynamically executable at runtime. Okay. You said 12:40 a.m. I don't know what RGN means. I'm a little slow. Okay, so it's suggesting to use expression tree compilation. Hi, Lumi. Welcome in. Right. I'm in the EST time zone, so it's only 1:38 p.m. for me. How you doing, Lumi? My little brother just came and he wants me to help him fix YouTube on the TV. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to take a couple seconds here to go do that. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Again, I will be back shortly. After helping my little brother with the TV, I guess. Alright, we're back. So it's saying instead of using reflection every time an event fires, I'll use expression tree compilation to construct a dynamic method under the hood. Auto generates exact code behind the scenes. Right. It's only when I'm streaming do I get pinged a lot. Alright, right, okay, I see what this means. It's completely garbage-free, avoid using new events, high critical loop, site damage, updates of physics 6 inside leverage, 6 is built in. Nearly engine pool system to recycle event objects. That's good. If you don't know what an object pool is in development terms, or game development terms, essentially, in games, when they have a lot of enemies on screen or a lot of bullets or whatever, instead of spawning in each enemy when they spawn into your game, or despawning an enemy when it dies, you actually just like teleport the enemy off screen or make them invisible, and then when an enemy quote spawns, you reset that enemy, because it's actually faster to do that than it is to like physically create a new object for the enemy and all that stuff. So they keep a pool of that object for when it needs to be on screen and off screen and whatever, right? So it's like you're just drawing from that pool of an already created object rather than creating an object at the time that it's needed, because that takes a lot of resources, or takes more resources than simply recycling. It's literally just recycling. That's all it is. Alright, so I don't care what anyone says, Smooth Criminal is the best Michael Jackson song ever of all time. The best. Oh my god, this dog. Oh my goodness. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and... I can't get a moment of peace in this house during the day, I swear. And of course it's summer, so my little brother is always home. Okay, let's see. I want to create a... what do I want to call it? God damn it. Okay. This game event. This game event class is abstract, right? Hmm. So this is already... Hmm. Let's say reset sender instead. Hmm. Hmm. I don't think game event needs to be mono behavior actually, that's probably why this was complaining. Yeah. So this is a marker rather than anything functional. Just marks a method as an event handler pretty much. To this. Okay. No, not types. Type. Why do you keep automatically suggesting shit? It's supposed to be a lowercase. Huh? There you go. So these are used for structural lookups, pretty much. To look like a, you know, really what it's for. I suck at explaining right now. Saying if we're passing in a listener that's null or it already is being tracked, then we're gonna do nothing. Okay. So this is we're passing in a listener object, and then we're checking, we're getting these methods from that object. We're getting public ones, we're getting non-public methods, and we're also getting instance methods. And then we're getting a list here, and then we're looping through the methods that we got, and then we're saying if the method does not contain our custom attribute that we just made, then we're going to continue to do nothing with it because you don't care about it. And what I mean by that is we say like public void listener example, right? And that's our method, but we also have to apply event handler to it, basically. All right, let me see. Let me open this up. I think it should be event handler attribute. Not sure, right? Event handler attribute. I would assume it would be this same thing. All right, so something like that, kind of, I think. And now we're checking the parameters of the method that we got. Oh my god, dude, I hate stop recommending me things. I swear. Pretty sure I even turned that off. I hate it. I hate automatic recommendation from this shit. Okay, how How do I just disable it? I'm honestly so tired of these. I want to type when I'm trying to type and not have it all jumbled up by recommendation. And I'm like, okay, well now where's my cursor at? Where was I just typing at? Now I gotta. It's so annoying. I don't even know where this is. Where's the recommendation stuff at? I don't even think I have Copilot. I don't think it's Copilot. Let me see. Visual Studio. Oh my god, I hate this. Just tell me how to disable it. I don't want a whole article about what it is. Oh my god. Okay, tools, options. Text, okay. IntelliSense, show completion list after characters type. Yes, I like IntelliSense, but I don't like autocomplete. No, it's not IntelliSense that I want to disable. Oh, statement completion? I don't even know. Can you just tell me how to disable it? Text editor, okay. Copilot completions, no. Whole line completions, no. I'm getting overstimulated from music and people making a shit ton of noise in the living room. Text editor completions, preferences, drop downs. I think I got it. Alt plus or Alt period. I don't know. Oh wait, that disables that. That's the worst. Oh my god. Okay. Now where was I? Parameter type. Right. I think I'm leaving when I work. Yeah. Oh god, okay. Alright, there we go. You see, I could just put this here. Event type. See. Valid parameters. Hmm. Yeah, I got ads in a couple minutes. On Twitch, at least. Huh. Okay. Now we need a unregistered listener method. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. And a call. Trying. Simple enough. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Uh, mm, mm. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put different scripts. Might as well just put stuff in here. Events, right? Entity events, player events, all that stuff, right? Right, okay, so we'll say entity damage events. Okay. It's a game event of our own, and then we want it to be a cancelable event. Oh, that's fine. They should not even need it, but let's just say that, for example. Right. This is like, this is a, it's overriding this constructor here. So we're doing, right here. This is overriding or implementing that, constructor. Okay. Okay. So what I'm gathering from this is we're using a pool to recycle events rather than creating a bunch of new event objects or whatever, right? And we're using, okay, so this object pool here. Yeah. So get, I think there should be creating one if there's not one in the pool already. So it creates one if it's in the pool already, and then if not, then, you know, yeah, so when we call get, if there's nothing in the pool, then it should create one, I believe, and then otherwise, it'll just recycle one. So it's taking it, and it should be also removing it from the ability to be recycled in the pool until we release, I assume, release it back into the pool or something like that. And so we're calling our, so we're getting a new, not new, but we're getting a version or an instance of the entity damage event. That's what this is. This is an entity damage event, right? That'll help rather than just using var, like explicitly stating what it is. Helps better than saying var when you're trying to read, right? Because there's a pool of entity damage events. And we want to make that clear here. So we're calling the reset function on the game event class that we created here. And the reset sets the sender to the game object I'm passing in, which is this target game object, right? So yeah, the target is the thing getting damaged. And then we have variables here that we're also passing in. So the amount of damage and the person damaging it. Or the person damaging the target. Okay. I'm gonna close this stuff here. Now we can modify this entity health class here to add a take damage method. And we're going to default this damager to null. And then we can say entity damage events equals entity damage event dot spawn. This game object, the damage that we're taking, and the damager, which could be null. Right. And then we're going to call this event. Alright. Here we go. And we're going to say if damage event is cancelled, And we can damage event spawn. Alright, sleep well, moon. And then we can return. Alright, so this is essentially saying, hey, we're gonna call this event, and if anything's listening to this event and cancels it, then we're not gonna take any damage. And we're gonna also release the event. So otherwise we're gonna say health equals 0 health minus damage event dot damage amount. And this also allows any event listening to this damage event being called, if anything's listening to it, it can change the amount that you're being damaged by as well. Because this call event will update the parameters in this here if we do update them. And then we can do that right there. Entity health changed event. Alright, okay. So there we go. And now we can do a... Where can we put a damage trigger script at? That's my next question. I'm gonna figure out where to organize all these scripts at. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna reorganize this stuff a little bit here. Scripts, let's do 4 and then the events folder in there. Okay. And we could do folder combat, right? We could put entity health, put this stuff in combat. Wait for it to reload, of course. Get rid of this. Reload that. Yeah. Like the background. Yeah, it's this. It's a wallpaper engine wallpaper. I have a couple of them, but just chose that one for now, for today. Oh, moon dehydrated. See, this is why I need sound alerts. I haven't set them up yet. I gotta pay more attention to the activity feed window. Okay, so also welcome him. So we should create our damage trigger finally. Combat, I think. Maybe we could do... Yeah, I don't know. We can always move it later. Damage trigger. Okay. Okay, damage trigger, we want to open that up here. So this is model behavior script, of course. Right, private void on trigger enter. So other collider. Right, get component. Entity health. Take damage. Damage to apply. And this game object is the damager. So it could also be a an entity itself. This game, I don't know if I have like the biggest idea, but right now I'm trying to make it like a, I want it to be like fast-paced movement, and my idea for a weapon is just a throwing knife that you can upgrade and stuff. So you're specific. My idea is to speed through levels and have good aim in order to hit enemies with your throwing knife as you're speeding through the level. Essentially, it's what my vision is, but you know, who knows? Ultimately, that's all I have so far. Is just the player script, movement, camera stuff, and I'm working on this event system right now. I want to do a maybe this would work for a serialized field. No. Okay. Well, then we'll keep it private and we'll set a getter. All right, and then okay, we can use that later. Yeah, I'm gonna graduate college this month, at the end of this month for game development, so it's gonna be something I'm gonna be going into for a career, yeah. But before this, I started college 2 years ago, but for my bachelor's, but before that, I was already coding in Java for Minecraft plugins. This is like a passion project kind of thing, for about 4 or 5 years now. So while I didn't get into C++ or C# before college, a lot of the Java knowledge carried over pretty much that I picked up. Hmm. Okay, so here's the plan. I want to create like a damage type selectable object stuff. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. We go folder damage. We move damage trigger to there. And I have to reload this whenever it catches up or something. You guys are caught up already. Go here. Damage type. Okay, and this will be a scriptable object, not a mono behavior script. And I also want it to be a create asset menu thing here. Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay, and now we can go to, I can close this out for now. It's done. I'm gonna go to the low, okay. Let's go folder types. Keep that there for now, but I want to do our damage event. Open this one back up. So we want to add a damage type here. Like that. Alright, and then add that to here. So target amount damager. And then damage type with that. Type image type. I'm gonna rename that. Okay. Yeah, and then we gotta go here to accept a damage type. Should say null for the damage type there, and then pass that in here as well. So it defaults to null, don't have to pass in either one of these when calling it. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, we need our trigger again. Oops, there we go. So let's update this a bit. I should call it damage mode. No, actually. Let's say that, right? And then damage over time. Okay. Fields and region. Okay. Defaults to instant damage. You could do damage type there. Damage to apply. Okay. It's a bit of a mixed bag as to why. First time I ever thought about wanting to make games is when I played, it was just some random moment when I was playing Destiny 1. I just love that game so much. I'm like, man, this would be cool to do. But I actually started coding, was much later on when I was messing around with Minecraft servers and plugins and all that, and eventually I started making my own plugins, and that's how I actually started my coding. But game development was much earlier on an interest in that. Okay. What is this song? Blue Gangsta makes sense. Okay. Module mode. Might as well do that. Okay. Untrigger exit. Okay, so okay, and then we have our update method here. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? What's that? Add them to remove. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This is what I like trying to see. I don't know. Alright, let's say reload Unity here. Okay. Let's create a UI folder here. I believe UI toolkit, style sheet, oh boy. Base style. Okay, let me see. I gotta remember how to set this up. It's been a while. I don't know when I have to open my other project. Don't want to have to open up my other project just to remember or to see how to do it. And we need a UI document. We call it layer HUD. Yep. So now this opens up another window that you can't see. I'm gonna move it here for now, so you can see it. So UI builder, pretty helpful in Unity here. Yep. My panel. Okay, right. Progress bar. I think I want to do. Match game view. All right. Okay. Can add, I think, do I want visual element on that? Or like the base or something like that, and then what a progress bar. Yes, right here. On the base there. Okay. This has this thing, which is not editable. Okay. Text. No. I'm gonna call this note bar. Okay. All right. Okay, right. Title. I don't want a title. Okay, high value is okay, 0 to 100. Yes. Well, actually, we can set it from 0 to 1. And that means this will be like a value between 0 and 1. Alright, we can actually set it to 1 by default. Okay. Does it size, position, line layout section? This is what's a little confusing, is trying to position it right in this like basically on this screen, this canvas. It's a little hard to position it correctly because it uses like a flex thing plus alignment and size and spacing. There's a bunch of stuff here pretty much. Like this base here, just the whole screen. Let's just say I don't even know. We don't need it too complicated right now. We just need not auto center. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so width rather than auto, let's just say like 300 or so. Is that not changing it? It's not changing the actual bar. Scale mode. Scale to fit? No. This is what I mean. It's a little confusing. Stretch. Stretch. Nope. We want that centered. Okay, right. There we go. Stretch. There we go. Okay. Just a health bar. We want it to be a... I didn't do anything. Oh, this thing. Here we go. No, that is not the bar itself. It's like the bar itself. How do I change that? Visual element. I can't modify any of this stuff. Material, no. Word, filter, no. Position, display. How do I just change the color of the product of the bar? This is the background. Well, I should want a background color. You can unset that. Okay. Border. There is no... I can't change the color of it. It would also be good. Actually, I think I want it. I want this to be like vertical alignment. Flex column, something like that, and then U. No, that's not what I want. On self, there we go. There we go. Column reverse. Okay, and then I think I would like to have padding or so, or spacing. $30. Yeah, there we go. It's at the bottom right now. And then the size, I think it would be good to have a little bit higher. No, that just doesn't change the actual bar itself, the size of that. Right, this is the actual size of it. I can't change this. This is read only. That's why I'm a little confused. How do I just... Yeah, I don't understand. Okay, I think I just have to change the style sheet here. Let's create a style sheet. Player HUD USS. Player HUD style sheet. Player HUD styles, sure. Okay, so in here we can do this stuff. And we can do health bar. You could do background color. Border radius. I don't actually think I need any of this stuff now. Okay, that's our style sheet for now, and then we can go back in here, and in our document, our UI document, we can add that. Player styles. There we go. And now it's red. Because we added the style sheet, which targets this health bar specifically. So yeah, this is hashtag health bar, and in the style sheet we said hashtag health bar. And then we targeted the Unity progress bar, which is right here, Unity dash progress bar. And then the progress and underscore background fields, I believe. Background, yeah, I don't know about progress, but yeah. So now it's red background, or there's a border. I think I want to change border width. Look at that. Am I able to change stuff here? I think I can modify here. Like, you know, move this style sheet down, and then I can change the background here. Border 0. That means it's on this. I'd just like to get rid of the border. I think it's might just not. I think that might have. Is that not the border itself? Let's see. Value. I don't know, but that looks good as a health bar. At least because the background size is technically a little bit larger. It's a little bit larger than the non. Background's a little larger. Other interests? So you said that a couple minutes ago. I don't know. Gaming? I don't know. I would like to learn how to draw. Drawing would be an interest of mine, but I just need to practice more. Obviously, streaming is an interest. Right, so saving it in here should, I think, change it in here. I don't even know. It doesn't change anything. Okay. Let's try that. See how that looks. There we go. That looks right. Perfect. Okay. That's what I'd like to see. So now we need to basically create scripts. Player HUD. Okay. Put this up. And we're gonna register this as a listener in our new event system. And obviously undisable, we're gonna say we're gonna unregister it as a listener. That way we don't keep listening to it when the object is disabled. And then we're gonna have event handler on player health changed entity health. Oh yeah, we need to create an event for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and comment this out for a second. Let that reload. In our events, entity health changed event. Nope, hello, there we go. And then we're gonna say it's a game event. It's not gonna be cancelable because, you know, entity health changed event in object sender health ratio base and health ratio is ratio. There we go. I update this guy. Inside the take damage, we're gonna say event manager call event entity health changed event match. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we have this event here. There we go. Okay. That should do it, I think. I would imagine. Let's go to my player here and just add that on here. I want to put it on the player itself rather than rather than the player's model. Right. Max health 100. Right. And like a player HUD on there. Go ahead and call this into there. Okay. Base panel settings, sure. Okay. Player. Base panel settings. There we go. Now we have the UI on screen there. Cool. Cool. Alright, have our health bar down there. Pretty good. Obviously, we need to have it changed. We need to start changing it now, right? Yes, okay. We need a way to get damaged now. So if I was to say... Right, okay. All I need to do, really, is say, game object. And create a plane. Actually, no, not a plane. I'm going to create a cube. Damage 4. Right. I'm going to create a new material. Damage material. And now you are going to be... that. Mission. There you go. Now I can put you on there. Perfect. Alright. Move this into the level here. Just scale it. The heck? There you go. There you go. Okay. Now we need a trigger around that. Or rather make this box collider a trigger instead, because we want to be able to go through it. So that's the trigger. And then we want to add our damage trigger script to this. Somewhere. Move that on there, please. There we go. We can add, yeah, sure, apply 25 damage. Okay, and then we'll see how this works. Okay, so it didn't. So either, no, okay. Okay. Right. Hopefully this actually works. Not that am I actually taking damage here? Switch over to debug mode. No, I'm not. I'm still at 100 health. Okay. So let's see why, right? This instant. Okay, you know why? It's because this collider, this player, it's on the health script is on the player, but it needs to be on the thing that has the collider. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit debug mode. Copy this health script over here. And then go to the model and paste it there as a new component. Okay, and then we can go here, remove this. Okay, let's try that. Okay, I did take damage there. I am taking damage. You see right here? This little grayed out value down here. It's at 25 now. Now it's at 0. So I am taking damage now. We're just not updating the health bar. And again, I think that's because this is not on the model itself. Okay, so then fine, you know, we're gonna copy component. Just gonna have to put it all in the model here. Okay. Okay. Nope, still didn't update it. Okay, so what's going on? It's not throwing warnings in there. Right. And debug. Health went down. Okay, now let's check our player HUD script and see. This could be that this... Oh, you know what? We're not tagged as player. I'm pretty sure. Model, let's tag player. Right. There we go. Now it's working. Oh, you know what? There we go. Now it's working. I had to tag our, we had to tag our model here as player. This little tag thing here. You can't see the drop down, but select player on that, and there we go. Because that's what we're comparing it to in here, right here. Checking if they have the player tag. Because it's a on player health changed event. Not entity health changed event. Though we could make it a entity health. Well, no, it is a. Never mind, it is an entity health change event. We're just checking in here. So. Okay. So. Probably want something. So, okay, so we have our health working and stuff. Again, I need to minimize this. Have our health working. We have this death or trigger thing here. And if I wanted to, I can go in and set our damage floor to death mode instead. Should wipe out our health. Yeah. Okay. So we also need to test damage over time here. Let's say maybe 25. I don't know how it'll work yet. So let's say damage over time. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's how it works. So like it's like lava now. What we said, 1 over every 0.05 seconds. Is that gonna be like a... Oh yeah, look at that. It's a lot of calls. So maybe that's not what we're gonna do. Maybe simply apply 5 damage every half second. Yeah, so you want to step out of it. Like now it's like lava. So that's nice. So all these damage types work. That's good. But we don't have any we can make this a prefab as well. Prefabs, right? And this can go in. Actually, we could just... I think we could do is just have it here. Combat, and no, because that's in the scripts folder. Prefabs, okay. Environment. Let me drag our damage floor right into there. There we go. Alright. Good. Okay, right, here's what I want to see though. Damage trigger. On trigger enter. On trigger enter, I think we want to re-add it, but then we can also take damage immediately. I think that would be good. Damage over time. instant right there. Now we're gonna have a different one, or not another one. We're gonna say, just gonna copy that, like remove this, and instant. So it's the same thing, except this will also apply this instant one. Or you know what we could do instead of that? Instead of that. Right, we could just simply say header damage over time settings. Serialize field. Damage on enter. Damage on enter. Right. So, nope, that's not what we're gonna do. Okay, no, what are you doing? Stop whatever it is this thing is doing. Cancel. Here we go. Okay. Damage on enter, false. We say if damage on enter, or rather, right, there we go. Let's do that. I mean, it shouldn't matter if I put it here or here, because when I exit the trigger, it also removes me from the dot timers. So this would also only run the first time I enter. So. Alright, we're just gonna do that. Maybe we can reload. Damage 4. I'm gonna click on this one actually. Damage on enter. There we go. There, now it's oops. Now it's immediately when I enter instead of just, you know, you can see the difference. If I was to have this not damage on enter, and you can see it waits the interval until I start getting damaged. But with damage on enter, it immediately damages when I enter it, and then also does the timer, right? Like that. Yeah. Okay. There we go. We got some damage. We got some health. We don't have what happens when we die. We do a... game over folder. Toolkit UI document. Game over styles. Right, here we go. Okay. There we go. Game over styles. Okay. So again, I want to click on this here, and I want to go match game view. Right. Okay. Now we can do visual element as like the base, the canvas. So we probably want to call this canvas. So same thing on this one. Oh. Oops, this was meant to be there underneath. Can I just say this? We don't actually need... Oh. So yeah, it would be better to have that. Okay. Player, not that. I meant to go here, back here. All right. Now we want another visual element for the vertical or whatever background. All right, this can be size. I'm gonna go 800. Right. This might actually be too high. Okay, color. Bring up the alpha a little bit. That's good. Okay. And now we want this one to center its content. Center. Like that. There we go. Background. There we go. See, now we have the background. Now we can add like buttons and stuff. I'm gonna actually add a label here. Title. So this will be like bring up the size. Okay. Color, I'm gonna make it white. Text here, I'm gonna say game over, right? Center. Okay. Text again, align center, align middle. Okay, and I want to add some padding at the top. Yeah. Okay, cool. That should be good for the text, right? And then I need button down there. The text, we're gonna say try again, maybe. And we want another button. Go quit. So for the text, I think we want it to be 18. Probably good. So for the title, we're gonna actually add some more space below, maybe like 60 or so. And then the buttons here, why did that one change? Change order, okay. We want the stuff here. Middle. like this, but also we want the size to not be auto. So like 100. 150? No, maybe 250. Sure. Height can be not that. 40. Okay, good. Right, same thing here. 250, 40. 50, 40. Song's great, by the way. I love Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney together. Okay, now we want a little bit of spacing between, so probably like or maybe we could do a visual element here. Right there. We could say spacer 1. Now you can be height, maybe yeah, there we go. So then we could do reset maybe 100. Right. $260 I think is good. And we can copy this spacer 2. We want to make this like 5. That's not bad. That's pretty good, I think. Of course, we would need a script for this menu to dictate what happens when we press the buttons. Of course. So, I don't know if I'm going to hook this up right now, maybe another time, but yeah, I think I want to create some moving platforms. Or I wanted to create some moving platforms. But we did a lot more. We did a lot today anyways. We got the damage kill zone thing. We got a player health. And to make them work, we added an entire event system, custom event system. Which is a lot of work in itself. Right. How do I want to say this? I don't want to. Okay, here's what I'll do. Right. Okay. Environment folder for scripts. Hmm. Hmm. Alright, well, I'll try this out. Moving platform. Here's what I'm thinking. Instead of simply a transform, we say like struct serializable move waypoint serializable, please, thank you. Okay, and then we have a transform position or destination, and then we have a speed there. Okay, and then we could say, instead of this, we say movement waypoint for the waypoints. There we go, right? That'll allow us to have different speeds between different destinations if we wanted to. Right. So we would need, okay. We'll have to see how it works after that. Hmm. Here's what I'm thinking. Again. Platform settings. say initial delay. Wait time at waypoint, or actually we can have that. We can add that for wait time right there. We'll wait for player false. 1 second there. I gotta make sure. I gotta see here. I think I want to rename this to platform waypoints. The platforms waypoints location speed to reach this waypoint. Time in seconds to wait at this waypoint. In public here. Okay. And right. So we need this one to be a class because we're going to be using it in an array. But this one doesn't need to be a class because it's not going to be used in an array. How long in seconds to wait before moving? Or no, not. God damn it. The target transform platform moves to, okay, and then here fast the platform moves to this point. Okay. Okay. Very cool. I like this struct/class design up here, rather than having static, just transforms to move to same speed, right? You can configure them for each one, pretty much. So we need it also reduces the amount of fields right here for us. You don't have to have so much. Okay, here we go. What did I say there? Oh, never mind. I want to say destination. Dot position. Yep, there we go. If settings, what do I call it? Yeah, if settings, wait for player. I guess it's not public. Okay. Okay. We want a fixed update method here. The target is our waypoints target index dot destination dot. No, that's it actually. Chapter 3, move towards target position speed. Okay, right. I want the speed here. Speed equal to waypoints, target index, speed. Speed times time fixed delta time. There you go. Now we move position. Move position. Simple. Now we check its current position with the target's position. If it's low enough, then we say a new method that we'll create down here. All this down here, right? So what happens when we reach the waypoint? Current wait timer is equal to our wait time at right, we want our current waypoint, so maybe pass in, well actually we don't need to, waypoints target index dot wait time. Yeah, there we go. Then we can check Platform behavior. Target index and waypoints. Alright, so we're gonna invert the direction. Then we add the index to the direction, right? Okay. And we can return here. We don't need to do much of else ifs. We return there, okay. And then we can say, now we're assuming stop at end, right? But we can put it in if right now, even though it's the only one left. And you know what we could do actually is literally just switch statement. Okay. Case behavior, loop teleport. And then of course case platform behavior we stop at end. There we go. Simple stuff. Target index, if target index waypoints dot length, let's say has finished equals true. Then we can return, even though it don't really need to return there, but okay. All right, and now we can go down here on trigger enter. Why did that not add the P there? Other compare tag player. Let's return that. Wait, or actually, right. If wait settings, wait for player and not moving. Okay, you know what I would like to say? Okay, here's the thing, right? We need a... We need to get the player's parent. Not just parent the player that has the collider. Because this player here doesn't have the collider, the model does. If we reparent the model and it's a parent back to null after we're done, then it's no longer going to be underneath player, and that's going to be a problem. So what we should do, I think, we can go I think what we should do is go into scripts. Entity again, and then we'll create an entity movable. Entity movable, right? This movable says, hey, this is a movable entity that can move on a platform, right? So we're gonna say, transform to parent, right? And then we could say get transform to parent and transform to parent. And then original parent, right, would reset to original parent. All right, so we can say transform to parent. And that should work even if this is null. What I should actually maybe say is set transform parent. Or, yeah. New parent. Actually, we should say is awake original parent name object dot transform parent. Right, okay, there we go. Now transform to parent dot parent equals new parent. Right, I think this should do. Perhaps. This makes sense to me in my brain. My brain be braining, and that's what it'd be saying. So we'll have to test it, right? And here, instead of other compare tag, we're say try get component entity movable. All right, I'm gonna say out bar entity movable entity. And we could say movable entity set transform parent. Okay, wait, what did I set it to? Actually, just transform. There we go. Okay, good. All right, that makes sense. And then now trigger exit. Movable entity dot reset to original parent. And that's all we have to do. Sounds about right to me. It's not just a player that can move. We want enemies to be able to move on platforms as well, right? And what I'm thinking is settings is cool and all, but like we don't need it. We don't need a struct for this. So I'm just gonna say there. It's not necessary, so. And I want to make it that. Yeah, I realized it a little earlier. It's kind of pointless to have that, because it's literally like what this spot is here for. But the waypoints, creating a custom object for that does make sense, because this is an array, not one waypoint that we're setting it to move to, right? And we want to do our has finished. Alright. Oh, duh, okay. That's where I want that. Now we call move towards target. Now, this won't be calling all the time, only if it needs to move. Or, well, it will be calling all the time, but it won't be doing all this logic down here if it doesn't need to. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now I need to create a moving platform. In the editor, I mean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, I think, to our model here, and we're gonna add entity movable to it. Right down there. Okay, and then the transform to parent will be player right there. Did I do that right? Yeah, transform to parent. And I don't want this, I want the transform to parent. Alright, there we go. That almost messed up. So that should do it, I believe. Alright. If the transform to parent is itself, then I should be able to put this. Yeah, you can assign its own parent, its own transform. Sorry, right here. We can assign itself. So if we wanted to move itself, if it had no parent, we could put model in there and it's its own transform, or just hold that there, right? But we are not doing that. We're doing that one. Okay. And because this is a child of this, it should move regardless, right? So now to create a moving platform, we're gonna go. I'm gonna create an empty object. Moving platform. It's gonna be at 0, 0, whatever. It's gonna be. This is gonna keep the scale for this is gonna be at 0, 0 at 1, 1, 1. So that it doesn't change the scale of our player after we step onto it, right? And then we're going to create a cube here underneath that, and that'll be the visual mesh, right? I'll just call it mesh, right? I'll rename this one to mesh as well, for consistency's sake. And so the mesh here is the cube itself. And let me move this out of there. All right. Did I accidentally create a, how did I accidentally create a sphere? 3D object, cube, mesh, right? There we go. This is our cube, and then we're gonna scale the mesh, not the platform itself. We want it to be like 3, 3. Right, and then that, and then we can move this. Don't want to move the mesh itself, want to move the whole thing. Right. And then we have waypoints that can be beneath it, right here. Or underneath this, right? So we're gonna position this at over there, right? And then we want to create a empty child, and we're just call it waypoints. Okay, and that is gonna have our waypoints in it. I'm gonna create empty child again, waypoint 0 for this one, right? So we're gonna move this, gonna move that somewhere else, right? I think it would be good to have a I don't even know. Let me actually moving platform. I think we want. Okay, wait. How do I want to set this up? Yeah, right. So select this. We add our moving platform script to that. And then we want our waypoints here. Transform that one, right? Speed by wait time 4.5. Okay, then we can add. I'm gonna move this. Say -10. All right. We're gonna go this way. And then this one, waypoint 1. We're not gonna move -10 on the, or 10 on the X. Right. And then waypoints, not waypoints. We're gonna go platforms, add this element, waypoint 1 instead, and then that should be good. And we'll do a ping pong for that. Ping pong behavior for this moving platform. And then we can test it, right? Wait for player. Did I not? Oh yeah, these aren't serialized, no wonder. There we go. Just moving platform. Here we go. Okay, initial delay. Wait for player, initial delay 1. That should be good. Okay. Now, oh, you know what? We need a. We're not actually done yet. We configured the script, which is good, but we didn't configure anything else. To add another. We need to add another box collider. And this one will be a trigger. And this will be. Array actually no, we need the mesh. I think that should be, I think it should be fine to have the collider on the mesh. And this is the trigger. Like that, I think. We do that one, and then we could move we should be able to move the collider itself to not be, yeah, there we go, just on top of it, not underneath it. Damn it, I didn't do much. All I did was edit the collider down here, or I added a box collider and I set it to trigger, and then I modified it, size of it. I changed the center, sorry, to be, instead of 0, yeah, it should be 1. Or actually, this could be 0.5. And move the center up by 0.4. I don't know, 0.5. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why that was so difficult, but there we go. Now that's our center there. And I think I actually want to move this to not be the whole width of the platform, but actually like 2.5. No, let me see. Yeah, 2.5. 2.5. That way, if you're just on the edge of it, then you won't get dragged along with it. 2.75 maybe. Right, that way you have to like fully be on the platform and able to move it, or to be moved with it. There we go. Now we can try it out. We should see that our player here will get moved to be parented with this, rather than okay, there we go. Right, we should, our whole player should be reparented to this moving platform and then back. We get off of it. Yeah, we are indeed getting reparented properly, but it's not moving us. Also, it's moving in the wrong way. It's not supposed to be moving like that. We are getting reparented. So, okay, let me see. Okay, let me see here. Maybe I didn't actually finish setting it up. Right, this should have, yeah, it does have a rigid body there. Maybe it did set, oh, it didn't change the interpolation. Okay, it does on start, right, right. Okay, so we are getting reparented correctly, as you can see on the right behind me there. But we're not getting moved with it, and it's also moving in the wrong way. School. There we go. So we're almost there. We almost got what we need here covered. Oh, it's because the waypoints move with the platform, so it's never gonna reach its waypoint. Right. Yeah. So the reason it's not stopping is because it's moving. The waypoint is being moved with the platform when it starts moving, so it's never gonna reach its destination. Alright, so we need to cache the positions, pretty much. There's gotta be a better way for that, right? I mean, there's, yeah, destination, but like... I don't know. Anyways, so awake. We could say for... We want to say dashed waypoint positions, effective 3 waypoints length. Okay. Position. There we go. And then we'll use that. So the cached. Like that. That also means down here. There you go. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then I think we need to try this. So instead of dot parent equals, we say set parent to the new parent, and we say true to have the world position stay. And same thing here. Set parent. Okay. Hopefully that should work. Signal Scotias. Someone took him again and the dog's barking. And now we test this again. Okay, nope. Doesn't move me. We are being reparented properly. Okay, let's see here. It's like it's also not. Right, waypoint 0. And then waypoint 1. It's not going to waypoint 1, I don't think. Oh, it automatically... Alright, so we need waypoint 0 to be as current. Alright, so it's moving properly. Yeah. But it's not carrying me still. Might have to do with our player. And I need to check my player movement script here. Should have a lot of stuff in. It's very big. Okay, let's see. Alright. That's our velocity, and then we could say RB linear velocity equals the platform velocity. Yeah. So we're gonna try that. I think we add it in here. Platform velocity, right? Okay. Try and get component entity movable. Okay, and now we go down to get grounded. If we're not grounded, then set it to 0, right? Alright, and now down here, you know, might be better. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay, you know what? I don't know. Let's just keep this how it is. To up. By movement. Not target, relative velocity. Okay, here's what we'll say. If entity movement Hmm. Okay, well that's literally same thing as above. Okay. Hopefully this should work. I don't know, but I hope so. Okay, well, let's just see. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. We are now moving with the platform. Setting linear velocity of a kinematic body is not supported. Okay, so we're gonna fix that. Okay. So our moving platform, we're setting the linear velocity, but it's a kinematic thing. We have now looped in this playlist of 45 songs. Which means, yeah, we've been streaming for 3 hours. Over 3.5 hours. That's interesting. Last time I checked that, it was only like over an hour. I have not looked at the time in a while. Jesus. Okay, so it's saying to not set the linear velocity, but rather use our own variable for it. But that means we would have to get it. Okay, alright. You know, it might be better to do that anyways. Okay, let's see. 5 is vector 3. Velocity. Alright, let's see public. Private set. Can move this up there. Okay, so Now we go down, move towards target. Say current velocity instead. That. And also, I think where we set it to 0. Did we? Not that. We didn't do that earlier. But yeah, that makes sense. Set it to 0 here. Don't have to worry about it. Because this means we've already reached our waypoint. And now, in our update grounded, right, still this stays the same, this stays the same, but down here where we set it to the actual thing, we just say instead of attachment body, we'll say try get component moving platform like this. Okay, instead of this we'll say moving platform dot current velocity, like that, and then this also remains the same. Perfect, that should do it. That is smart. That is a smart suggestion versus saying, first we test. Good. Good. It works. Though, we do have another problem we need to address. If we set our moving platform here to loop teleport, I think it's going to teleport us as well. No, actually it shouldn't, because in order to actually move us, we had to apply physics to ourselves. Oh, it didn't. It's also not teleporting back to the start. It's just ping-ponging with... Okay, so loop teleport needs to be fixed. Actually, I gotta reach or this. Huh. Right. Oh, we need cached waypoint positions. Not the uncached one. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense why I was doing that, why I was ping-ponging, right? Because I hope you could see that, actually. I don't know if I minimized this properly, but essentially what happened was this platform here, it moved to index 1, and then it moved to index 2, and then that was marked as finished, so it's going to teleport. But its current, like, 0 position at 0, index 0, was at itself, or something like that. And I try to go back to position 1, which is using the cast position. So it set its current position to where it's at right now, and then it set its position there, so that technically teleported, and then it went to position 1. And then for some reason it went back there. Let's see. I think it makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but it's hard to explain. I don't think I reloaded. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I didn't reload, but I should hopefully fix it, I think. Cached, wait, but you want to use a cached one, not the uncached. Because the uncached are moving with the platform. Okay, yeah, it is teleporting us as well. So that means before we set the position, we have to unparent our current passenger. So that means we have to okay, here's what we're going to say. Player, right? Because we don't know if it's actually the player. Okay, right. Google entity, right. So I think we need like passenger list or something. And then add them. Okay, here's what we're gonna say. Passengers, right? Passengers, add, not add. Okay, wait. It's an array, so I can't call it .add on it. I gotta do a list. Passengers add movable entity dot get. What's going on? Alright, we don't have to get transform to parent. We did, but then we removed it. Or we could say is movable entities rather than transforms. Entity movable. That would probably be better, actually. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to have this getter. I don't want to have that exposed. So this would be better, right? So we add, and then on exit, we're gonna simply passengers remove movable entity. And then there we go. And then, of course, as we teleport up here, before we set the position, I'm going to say passengers remove, or not remove, but for in passengers reset to original parent. Yeah, and I also want a list. Passengers. How do we do it in that other script? There was some, I forget which word. Is it event manager? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was in a different script. I think it was it damage trigger. Yeah, keys. That's what we need. New list of entity movable, and I want the passengers. Let's do that. Okay, sure. In current passengers. So we're looping to the current passengers and not the actual list that we're trying to remove from. So, you know what? It doesn't matter. Actually, it actually doesn't matter because we're gonna clear them all anyways. I'm done. Passengers clear. Might have to remove all the parents and stuff because it's about to reset. It's about to teleport. We don't want to teleport them with it. That should be, I think that should work. We'll try that. That should work. It's going to remove our parent before teleporting the platform as well, so. Alright, let's see. Yes, perfect. And we are no longer parented to it, as you can see on the right. Awesome. Easy. There we go. We got some good platform movement there. Now we can say, we can make this a prefab. Prefabs, environment, moving platform. Boom. Just like that. And then if it stops at end, then it should simply stop at the end. And then do nothing. Yeah. Okay. And I got an error there for some reason. 175 on trigger enter. Oh, those passengers null or something? What if I say like that? It's been like that the whole time. Okay. I mean, it worked. I don't know why it would have been like that the whole time, but. Alright, I think that's great. I think it's all the progress made today. Although in the grand scheme of things, it's not a ton of stuff. Like, this is nowhere near a complete game, obviously. And it's been a long time since I started it. Well, not a long time, at least a week, right? A little over a week. But I would say that's, in the grand scheme of things, not a lot of progress, but a lot of progress. We have damage triggers. We have health, player health now. We have a HUD UI. We have moving platforms that carry us and should carry other entities if they have the entity movable component. And with that, I think I'm gonna end it here before this ad plays. Let's see, do we have enough people to... let me go ahead and start closing out of stuff. Everything's saved, so should be good. So we have 3 viewers. I mean, hey, you guys wanna try... You try rating someone? Anyways, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and get my socials listed in the chats here. Check out my socials. There we go. Subscribe to subscribe to YouTube, follow the Twitch, and follow the Twitter, the X account over there. My socials link. I recently dropped below 300 followers by like at least 27. Actually, no, we were at like 320 something followers, and then now we're at 273 right now. I think a lot of art bots like unfollowed or something, so, which is unfortunate for the numbers, but ultimately better in the long run. We don't need art bots, right? So go ahead over there, follow the Twitter. Let's try and get back to 300, but with like real people. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. See you later, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Have a good day.